Remember, of, in this case, means multiply. So, what is 1/4 times 1/3 mile? You got it. That means that 1/4 times.
To find the distance to the drop point, we started with part of a mile and found part of that. And in order to do that, we multiplied fractions. So multiplying fractions is finding a part of a part.
Now that we calculated the location of the Purple Panther's drop point, we can set it on its way.
Let's get to work on the next copter, Red Ants Rising.
Red Ants Rising's helipad is 1/3 of a mile from the control center. We'll drop the food when it's 3/4 of the way there. How far is the drop point from the control center? We can use a number line to find what fraction of a mile that is, just like we did for the Purple Panther.
Yeah. In fact, both copters' helipads are 1/3 of a mile from the control center.
Well, in that case, we can even use the same number line as before. What is 3/4 of 1/3 of a mile? Not quite. Check it out on the number line. Each third is divided into 4 equal parts. Red Ants Rising drops the food when it gets to the third part. How far is that from the control center? Actually, each part is 1/12 of the whole mile. So 3 parts are 3/12 of the whole mile.
Another way to think about this is that 1/4 of 1/3 is 1/12. So 3/4 of 1/3 is 3 times that, or 3/12. And since the of means multiply, we can say that 3/4 times 1/3 is 3/12.
Click Launch to send Red Ants Rising on its way.
Next up is Cyclone 5000.
The Cyclone 5000's helipad is 2/3 of a mile from the control center. The food will be dropped when it's 3/4 of the way there.
But I can't tell how far that is from the control center with 1 mile divided into 3 equal parts.
Well, when we found 1/3 of 1/4 of a mile, we divided 1/3 into 4 equal parts. Into how many equal parts should we divide each third of a mile to find 3/4 of 2/3 of a mile? Nope. Dividing each third into 2 equal parts would help us multiply 2/3 by a fraction with a denominator of 2. We need to find 3/4 times 2/3. Try again. Actually, if we divide each third of a mile into 4 equal parts, we can take 3/4 of the first 2/3 of a mile. Look, take 3/4 of the first third of a mile and 3/4 of the second third of a mile. The total number of shaded parts is 3/4 of 2/3 of a mile.
Now we can tell Victor what 3/4 of 2/3 of a mile is, so he can launch Cyclone 5000. What is 3/4 times 2/3 of a mile? Not quite. To name how much of a whole mile is shaded, divide the last third into 4 equal parts, like we did with the other thirds. Try again. Right on. To name how much of a whole mile is shaded, divide the last third into 4 equal parts, like we did with the other thirds. That makes 12 equal parts in 1 mile. So each part is 1/12 of a mile. Since 6 parts are shaded, 3/4 times 2/3 of a mile is 6/12 of a mile.
I think I notice a pattern that could help us. Here's some of the calculations we've done so far. What do you notice about the product of two fractions? Not quite. The numerator of the product is the product of the numerators of the factors. That's right. What else did you notice? Not quite. Look at the products we found. Each time we multiplied the numerators and multiplied the denominators. Remember when we found 3/4 times 2/3 of a mile? We divided 1 mile into 12 parts, which is 4 times 3. And then we shaded 6 of those parts, which is 3 times 2. So 3/4 times 2/3 equals 3 times 2, divided by 4 times 3, or 6/12.
I gotcha. So the denominator of the product tells us how many equal parts the whole is divided into.